We're feeding Ada waffle. Peace.
She looks so small right now. It's a very weird aspect ratio.
Piece. Okay, last piece. Good girl. Good job. Ada ate a whole waffle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 146 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on all of the social media. And thank you to all new and returning viewers for joining me this week. My apologies, I got a little bit of a thing with my throat going. Both of the kids are sick, so hopefully I'm not going to get sick. But I wanted to make sure I did the giveaway, shared some stuff with you, and didn't, get too far behind on the recording schedule. I feel like I'm not centered in the frame and it's a little bit far away from me. So, I don't know, I might bring it closer. Come closer. Anyway, yeah, it has been a very, very busy couple of weeks. February was a really, really busy month for me at work. And I noticed it because I was looking at my project journal and I cast nothing new on for February. Now, I meant to. I had several things queued up and the yarn wound up and everything ready to go to cast them on, but I never got around to it. I just kind of powered through on the project that was already going, which is what I'm wearing right now. My hair is very uneven and it's bothering me. Okay. So yeah, I didn't cast anything new on, I think. Yeah, no, I didn't, because those socks that I'm thinking of, I cast on in January. So no new cast-ons for February, but I did finish things, and I have since cast things on. It is March 12th today of 2022. Yeah, so obviously I don't have a lot to say. So let's do the giveaway. Let's get it out of the way. So last time I podcast, I said I wanted to give away this skein of Woolen Vine yarns. I have two of them, so this is one of the two. It is on her footsie base, and it is in the colorway Cinematic. You'll see this making a debut a little bit later in the podcast because I have a whip that is in this colorway but on the Smitten DK base. So you can see what it'll look like knit up. But I did draw for a winner from all of the comments on the last episode, and thank you all so much for your comments. And I've got some ideas for things to talk about on this podcast as well. So thanks. Anyway, the person that I chose for the winner is Talia in Love. So I'm going to just hold up for a second. She said that her favorite season was summer, and she is amazed at how much that I can read. So thank you, Talia. And get me your information, and I will get this skein of yarn out to you. You can either PM me on Instagram, or you can send me a message on Ravelry, and I will get your prize out to you. As far as reading, it's just because I don't do anything else. I don't watch shows. I don't watch TV. I don't really have hobbies that are non-reading compatible. I guess I do now because I do journaling now. Surprise. Yeah. So congratulations, Talia. And yeah, let's get into the episode because I feel like I'm a little scatterbrained right now. So let's start with FOs. I believe I have only one FO. Yeah, I only have one FO and I have one half finished object, which is a sock. So my 1FO, I'm wearing it. It is the Very V-Neck Raglan by Jessie May Designs. I knit it in the 40-inch bust size, but I made some pretty serious modifications to it. It is knit Flies and Hellhounds in the pumpkin colorway. I held 2 yarns together, so it is the penny base and the fig lace base held double to get the effect. So I'll stand up so you can see it. So it is longer than it calls for in the pattern. It calls for it being a cropped sweater, but I did not want that. I probably could have knit the cuffs even a little bit longer than I did. However, it is not washed and blocked at this point, so I do think that the sleeves will grow a little bit. So as you can see, it has a deep V-neck. I think that I knit a few more rows than what the pattern called for on the V-neck, and it's really an easy pattern. It's very nice, but it talks you through, like, if you do more rows, it'll make your V come up higher, and it'll also close up the neckline. So it talks about, like, if you want to do this, then do this, which I really appreciated. And this is my first time doing a V-neck, so it has like this center set of decreases that pulls it all together. Very nice. I love it. Modifications that I made, I actually did a lot of shaping, so the pattern does not include any shaping at all. It doesn't tell you how to do waist shaping, but there's plenty of resources out there to do that. So I use the trying to think. I usually Google waist decreases because I always forget which side of the marker that you do the knit two together in the slip knit. I don't know why. I just always forget, and I mix them up, and I have to do it 2 or 3 times to see which way they're leaning, or I just look it up and have someone walk me through it. But there's plenty of, resources out there for doing that. The other thing that I did is I did back decreases on this one as well, because I had, this deep V, and I wanted to leave room for my bust, but I didn't want all that extra fabric on the back. And when I had tried it on, it looked just really big on the back. So I think I did 4 sets of like paired back decreases, and I did like 6 sets of decreases for waist shaping. Even with that, it's not like a ton of waist shaping. It still has a lot of, you can see it has a lot of positive ease in it. So there's still a lot of room in this garment. But that is fine. It's fine. I like it. There's a little bit of bat winging going on there, but not too bad. The other thing I did is I did arm decreases or sleeve decreases, however you want to say them. The pattern does not call for those. It says to like do a few, and then it's just like a big loose tube. And on the pattern, she knit it with like bell sleeves. I don't want those. I grew up in the 80s and those were a big thing, and I don't like them. I like having something, if it's going to be over my hand, I want it to be fitted, and I want it to be fitted around my wrist so that way if I want to push it back, it stays. If you have bell sleeves, you can't do that. They're not going to push up. They're not going to stay unless you cuff them, and then they will, or peg them like, we used to peg jeans. So you could do it either way, but I didn't like that look for me, so I did normal, traditional sleeve decreases and a longer cuff. So I actually did the same length of cuff as I did on my Chalet Days sweater, because I liked that. I do feel like, when I put my hands out, these cuffs are maybe a little bit shorter than I like, but again, like I said, I think once I wash and block it, it's probably going to grow and it's going to be fine because this is a superwash yarn. Superwash yarns grow. So it should be fine. I love the color so much. It is this deep pumpkin color. I don't even know what just fell. I do know what just fell. This just fell. It's a deep pumpkin color like this. I kind of like this color a lot. So yeah, I love pumpkin. I have another sweater's quantity of pumpkin in her chonky tweed base, which is an Aran weight base, but it looks sort of like worsted. So I think I'm probably going to knit it as a worsted. My plan right now is to knit a Bloomsbury sweater because I have the adult pattern and the child size pattern. So I think I will knit a Bloomsbury, but I'm going to take a break because I was looking at this color for a really long time and I want to knit some short sleeve stuff because we're going into spring, even though it's snowing today. We are headed towards spring and summer, and I would like to have a few more warm weather garments because I think I've got 3 tops that I can wear when it's hot that are knitted. So I'd like to have a couple of like tanks that are more versatile and that I can layer as, you know, we go through the transitional seasons. I'm working on one of those right now, so I'll show you that. That's a new cast on. And then there are a set of short sleeve sweaters by Valentina something. See, this is what happens when you're not prepared. Bogdanova. Valentina Bogdanova. So there is the Reina de Picas tee. That's this one that I want to do. God, it's blowing out really badly. So it has like the scalloped lace. I love the scallop around the edge. The Flamentans sweater. And there's one more that I want to do that just has like a feather and fan pattern on the top. So anyway, I'd like to do all 3 of those tops, and I think that'll be a nice like summer tops wardrobe. And I'm thinking with some like blousey skirts with some pockets and stuff. By the summertime, I should be going back into the office at least a few times a week. So my plan is to be wearing like skirts and things like that more. I don't typically wear skirts around the house. I just don't find them a practical garment for me when I'm doing house things. But I do like to wear skirts when I'm out in the world. So there you go. Very V-neck raglan by Jessie May. I highly recommend it. It was very fun to knit. It was very simple and straightforward. And it was a great like zoning out project, which was just what I needed for February. Even though I cast it on in October, I would say that the majority of the knitting that I did on it was the month of February to finish it out, because I kind of had other stuff I was doing November and December and even January. So January I did work on my husband's sweater, which I'm doing an Urban Hiker for him, and I forgot to bring it in here. But even though I've done quite a bit, I'm about halfway through the body. It doesn't look that much different than the last time I showed it, so I'm not going to show it on the podcast. Also, my wrist really hurts right now for some reason, so I might put my brace on it and I might do some journaling today instead of knitting. Try and give it a little bit of a rest. I have very weird lighting right now too. Ooh, that looks good. How about I just podcast like this for the rest of the day? That's not gonna work. I wonder if I move it. Nope. Okay. So anyway, let's get into whips, so we can start doing that. All right. So, in the spirit of all things Jessie May Designs, which is, I think, every single thing I'm going to show you, other than the blanket that I cast on, but all of the garments I'm working on are Jessie May Designs. Sorry, not sorry. So this is going to be the Ripple Butt shorts. And it is a shorts pattern, which I've apparently taken the thing out for. I had the pattern, but I think it's out on my couch. Anyway, I'm knitting it out of Cinematic by Wool & Vine Yarns. Hang on a second. Okay, this is better lighting, I think, for showing you stuff. So anyway, it's knit out of Cinematic, and it's on the Smitten DK base. Oh my gosh, this is so much better. Okay, so it's like tealy green with like rust and like tan colors in it. And here's what I've done so far of the Ripple Butt shorts. I'll show you from the back. So this is the back. So it's kind of clever. You do a fold over waistband and it's supposed to have a drawstring. So my thought was I was going to be super smart and I was going to put in elastic. Now, stupidly, I sealed up my waistband, and so now it's folded over and I've knit it together with the rest of it. I could still do it as the pattern says, which it has you knit a drawstring with like I-cord and feed it through. The problem is that I didn't make the little eyelets for the I-cord belt. However, the stitches are really loose, so I still think I could shove one in there. I don't need eyelets to be able to do that. So I do think I could shove one in there. Or I could go back here. There is a place where I did the two yarns where I tied them together to switch to the main color. So basically I have just enough yarn in this color to do the shorts. My thought was I could gain a little bit more by doing the fold over portion in a different color. So no one's gonna see it anyway. So I thought, well, if I make that a different color, I'll gain myself a couple of yards to play with if I want to make them slightly longer. So that's why it's yellow on the inside, but it would normally be the same color as the rest of the shorts. As you can see, that is not visible from the outside at all, and it works really well, and it was the same weight of yarn, so it was just some leftover yarn that I had from Colorwork Mittens project, so I just used that. But anyway, I could unpick where I joined them and maybe unravel a couple of stitches is my thought, then slip the elastic in and then sew it closed right there with those stitches, you know, with the yarn I unpicked, and then tie it so that then when I need to replace the elastic, which will happen, I have a place to do it. That's what I think I'm going to do. But anyway, I don't have to do that until the end after I'm done with everything else. I'm sorry, Charlie. I smushed my fern. I have to turn him. Sorry. Anyway. So yeah, the inside of the waistband I did with a different color to try and preserve some of the yarn. And then I just finished, it has short rows shaping on the back, like at the butt. So this part is going to be the center seam up the back between these two stitch markers. So if you imagine like this column of 3 stitches is going to be the center back, and then the short row shaping was around those. So now I'm where I'm doing increases for the hips, and then and I'll separate and do the legs. So my hope is that this should be a fairly quick project. It's in DK weight yarn, so it's a quicker knit anyway. Because yeah, I might like to have a couple pairs of cute like knitted shorts for sleeping in and stuff, or for just putting on with a t-shirt. I could imagine that, wearing around the house with like a t-shirt. In the summer, I do miss being able to wear my knitted stuff, so this could be a new fun way to do that. I have this pattern, and I have these So Summer shorts, which I believe is a fingering weight pattern, and that one is like, they're kind of roughly on the edge, versus this one is just like ribbed all the way down. So if I don't do the I-cord, I could try to match it to do like a little mini I-cord, just to have a tie in the front. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. So anyway, that is the Ripple Butt Shorts by Jessie Maed Designs, and I love how this yarn is knitting up. It's really pretty. It's going to be really nice. So that is that. And you can see like it's the same colorway. That's what I've been working on today, and I think that's why my hand is hurting, because German short rows, I tend to really like pull hard. I don't know why I do that. Shouldn't do that. Okay. The second thing is the Ripple Tank. As I said, also by Jessie Maed Designs. Okay, and it's on a really long cord right now because I was concerned that it wasn't going to fit me. So on this one, it says to take your bust measurement, subtract 10 inches, and then pick that size to knit. So I did that. So it's saying that the circumference unstretched will be 32 inches. And I was going for a 42 inch bust because mine's 44, but I do like to have some negative ease anyway. And then I didn't want my waist to be so much different that I'd have to do waist shaping. The idea was that hopefully, since it's ribbing, I won't do any shaping at all, and it'll just stretch to fit my body. But it looked so tiny. Like, oh my God, it looked really tiny. And I couldn't stretch it enough to make it feel like it was gonna fit me. So I was really scared that I did this much and then I was gonna have to rip it all out. So what I did today is I put it on I believe this is a 45-inch cable. And then I washed it and I put it in front of the pellet stove to dry, which this time of year is great for doing swatches because I can get them to dry in like 30 minutes. So I washed it, I left it to block, and Joshua and I went to Staples to get him a mechanical pencil and to get some more glue tape. And by the time I got back, it was all dry. I tried it on. This does fit over the largest part of my bust, and it feels comfortable even with the bra, so we're fine. I don't have to rip it out. It's great. So the yarn I'm using is Wool and Vine yarns in the Nouveau base. This is the Courtesan colorway. Sorry. The Courtesan colorway. I've had this in my stash for a really long time. I think a couple of years. Because I got it the same order as I got the cinematic, and I hadn't ordered anything from Kristen in a while, and I ordered a couple of her Christmas yarn, but I just have so much of her yarn. I'm trying to like knit through it first. So here's the yarn, and now the two balls of yarn I have are markedly different from one another, but that is totally fine. I'm alternating skeins and it's working perfectly. But I had always wanted to make these into a sweater. You can see this one is a lot pinker than this one. but I'm just alternating them every row, and it's great. So it's like a really heavily speckled, like grubby pink. So not super pinky pink, but kind of a grungy pink, which is very nice. I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm doing that on a size 4 US needle. And I'm just gonna keep going forever. So it is just a knitted tube like all the way up. And then once you get off past the fullest part of your bust, I think you separate and start knitting the front like strap pieces, and then the back you knit small pieces to get to the strap, and then just boop, over top and done. So yeah, I believe that it's not stranded. Oh my goodness. Stress Knits. Yes, Stress Knits yarn. There's a knit along going on for summer tops, like tanks. So I'm going to put it into that knit along. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one, and it's nice and mindless and perfect for knitting. Everything I'm knitting right now is 3x3 ribbing and all in Wollenswein yarns, which is weird, but a lot of Kristen's yarn I only have like a couple of skeins of a color, or I have a single skein and I have to try and figure out how to make it work, because it's very hard to get sweaters quantities from her, or it was when I was stashing up her yarn. Now she, I think, makes an effort to have many fewer colorways in her updates, but more. So it's possible to get a sweaters quantity, but a lot of my yarn that I have from her was before that was the case. So yeah, it's nice to do some summer tops with her yarn, because I have 800 yards of that. So that'll make a tank top, but it would not make like even a cap sleeve type tee for me. I need more than that. I need at least like 900 yards. So anyway, that's what that is. And then the last whip I have, it is in a bag I got from Notebook Therapy, which is this gorgeous yellow, and it's corduroy fabric. It's really nice, and it has pockets inside of it. So Notebook Therapy sells like notebooks, stamps, washi tape, all of that kind of stuff. But they also do have some bags, and the bags have like really nice pockets inside of them. They're great knitter bags. Just saying. I may have another bag coming my way that's this color, and it's like a little mini backpack, because I don't have like a nice kind of intermediate purse solution. I've got a really small one, which is, I think I've got a Bagaloo bag. My mom bought it for me years and years ago, and it basically is just like 3 pockets, and it's real slim, and the front pocket is got like built-in credit card organizer and stuff. So that's the one I use for most of my stuff. But then I don't have like one step up where I could put like my work laptop, my mouse, my work notebook that I typically carry, like an ARC planner with me, and maybe like a pencil bag or something like that. So that was what I was kind of looking for. So it's basically going to be this same size, but a backpack style. So it has a slide-in pocket for a laptop, which is what I wanted for my work laptop. So anyway, if you don't know, I got a couch to replace the purple couch. It is a gray couch. It is from IKEA, and I wanted to make a blanket for that couch. I have my 10-stitch blanket that is like thick and warm, and it is alpaca and wool mixed together, so it's a very snuggly wintry blanket, but I want one for more of like summer that can be washed. So my thought was, I wanted to make a yellow one because I love yellow. Yellow is my favorite color. I have a lot of yellow single skein yarn, and I just thought it'd be nice to have like a pop of color, because now I have a gray chair, a gray couch. I'm gonna have a yellow chair whenever they get the stupid IKEA chairs back in. They come out as soon as they get them in stock, they're gone. So I haven't been able to snag one yet, but it's like this color of yellow. I think Mina from Knitting Expat has one of them. My friend Andrea has one, and I really, really want one. I've wanted one for a long time. So that'll kind of pull everything together, and it'll use up all of my yellow scraps. So I cast on for a Parallelogram, and that is really hard to say, Parallelogram blanket by Stephen West, and it is in here. It's really tiny. So in the center of my Parallelogram is my yellow couch mini from Flies and Hellhounds, the Throne of Glass advent calendar, because it had to be yellow couch in the middle. It just had to be. So there's yellow couch. This is a stitch marker from my friend Jessica that she sent me years ago, and it's yellow. It's a little yellow coffee mug, so it's perfect with a heart. And then there's this one. This was a mini that someone sent to me. So I'm using fingering weight yarn held double for some of them, and then if I have DK weight, I'm going to go ahead and use that single. I do have some of the yellow that I used on the waistband of the shorts. I've got more of that, so that's a DK weight, so I'll do that one single. But these two are both held double. So essentially you're making this center parallelogram, and then you're picking up parallelograms around the sides. So I think I do another one here, and then I do one here, and then the next one goes all the way across all three, and then you kind of repeat the process around. So yeah, it's pretty ingenious. And I need more needles though, so I have to dig around and see where the rest of my size 6 needle tips are. I think a couple of them are in projects, so I have to figure out where those projects are, because I do think having a separate needle for each side makes a lot of sense, because you're holding live stitches on each of those sides that are then going to combine with the other stitches you pick up from the ones you're creating. So he suggests you should have 4 of them so that you have one on each side and you don't have to like keep switching to holders. So yeah, I just need to find 2 more size 6 needles. I have them somewhere. I just have to dig around in my project bags. But that is it so far. I've got tons of yellow in here. Lots of yellow. I picked up this skein in a D-stash that Gabby was doing on her Gabby Gales D-stash page on Instagram. So it is Moonlight on her Marie Cutie base. I didn't actually have this colorway, so it was cool to get it. It is Corriedale nylon, and I love this base. I've made socks for Josh out of it, and they still look great. He loves them. So yeah, that'll be a nice addition. And then she found some skeins of yellow yarn, and she was like, I put them in your package. Like, yay! So exciting, because we were chatting about our blankets. She's doing one out of her Moons collection, which I need to pull all of mine out. I'm gonna make a cardigan out of at least some of mine, but I'm sure I'll have leftovers, because if it's striped with all 12 of the full moons, like, I'm gonna have tons left over from each one, other than Crow Moon, because I used it in another sweater, so I'm probably gonna use that one up, is my guess. But anyway, it just came today, so it is sulky, and I can't even read the label at all. It's from Finland. I'm guessing that it's in Finnish. Is that what? Got it. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it's this bright, pretty, like sunshiny yellow. God, it's gonna be so good. So I'm gonna save this for the outer portions, because obviously it gets larger as it gets further and further out. So it takes more yarn to complete a block. So I'm going to use my minis towards the center because they're smaller and I don't have as much of them. And then as I go out, I will use the bigger skeins where I've got like a full skein to make sure that I can get a full section out of it. So, you know, this is like, it goes everywhere from a super, super light buttery yellow. I think this one's Butter Cow from No Makers. I couldn't remember this morning what it was, but I found it and I was like, oh, I found it. I've got leftovers from my So Faded that I did in yellows. So this is Beauxbatons from Bad Wolf Girl Studios. Got a little bit of leftovers. This is DK Weight from some mittens. Just tons of stuff in here. Like so many projects. I love scrap projects because you get to relive like, oh, I remember when I was knitting that. Oh, I remember what that was from. And that's fun for me. I don't know. So anyway, that is going to be lots of fun. I just need to find those other needles. So those are all my whips that I'm working on. That is all of the things. So then in terms of acquisitions, I do have a few quick acquisitions to show, and then I'm going to switch over to journaling content. So if you're only here for knitting, then you can say goodbye and join me next time. But that way there'll be kind of a good delineation. So the other thing that came in my package today is the Plies and Hellhounds Wicked Seeds Club. So she's doing, well, is it a club? It's not a club. She's doing a year-long dyeing thing on a new base. So it is a merino yak silk, which I love merino yak silk. It is delicious. So this is her first installment, and it is Lily of the Valley. They had these little wax seals on them, but mine fell off. And I'm going to save them because I think they'll be really pretty in my journal. So I do have the two little wax seals. I'm going to give one to Megwin, and I'm going to have one. And I think I'll glue one into my journal. But they're really cool. It's like a little imprinted Lily of the Valley. So she calls this her nectar base, which, as you know, I won't remember because I never remember Gabby's bases. But I will this time. So it's Lily of the Valley on nectar, and it's a really pretty, like, warm salmon pink color. But it's like dark. So I'd say a light burgundy with some black speckles and a little bit of orange speckles in it. So it's just a really nice warm reddish color. I'm thinking I will do the Flamentons in this color way, but I'm not sure. Because it's on a yak base, I'm thinking that may be too hot for the summertime. So I don't know. I'm gonna let it marinate a bit in my stash, but it's really beautiful and I couldn't say no. So I love when Gabby does like special dyeing things, and I'm waiting for her spring finals. She has one more set of her Dark Academia series. And it's the spring finals. There's a blush color in there that is just chef's kiss. And there's also like a purple green, and is there brown? There's 4 colors. They come out, I believe, next weekend. I thought it was this weekend, so I was camping as though it were an update, and I kept going like, refresh, refresh, why isn't it happening? So then I checked her Instagram, and I'm like, because it's next week. So the anticipation is building. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great. And the other thing I got is my first Chromatic Yarns purchase. So Hannah from the Corner of Craft is the dyer behind Chromatic Yarns. They're all D&D inspired colors. So sometimes she dyes them based on cool dye sets that she's seen, or characters from D&D, or spells or something. So this was her resistances collection. So it's all like different spell resistances. So I got the cold resistance because I had to. I wanted socks of cold resistance. It's on her yak sock base. So again, this one is a merino yak nylon base. But I really love how yak takes dye. It looks so pretty and kind of grayish, so a little more muted. So this is the cold resistance. And it's going to be really cool socks. And I actually do play D&D, for those who didn't know. I've been playing for years and years, since like 1st edition. So I learned to DM when I was 1st edition. My DMing skills have like long since expired because we're on a totally different edition, and the rules are very different, and I just don't know enough to DM at this point. But I do like assist my husband with story ideas and stuff like that. That's the part of it that I really enjoyed, was telling stories and involving people in your stories and stuff. But I'm playing with him and his friends whenever we can get together, but it's like a virtual group, so you know, you have to coordinate schedules of like 5 adults, which is always fun. So yeah, anyway, I hope to be doing some D&D socks while I'm playing D&D. The other one I got is Chaos Resistance, because I need some of that in my life. And this is on the Sturdy sock base. So it is her BFL nylon base. I love BFL socks. I think they just hold up so well. They're really warm. It's nice. So this has just like tons of neons and bright colors, but it's not like overwhelmingly neon. I like that there's like pops of it, but it's not like solid neon. Especially like, ooh, this area right here, just so good. It's like, it's candy. It's like candy. Anyway, so those are both my first purchases from Chromatic Yarns. They will not be my last, but I will have a couple of really cool pairs of socks. All right, journaling. So I started a reading journal because I wanted to, and I read a ton of books. However, journaling takes a lot of time and you really have to have the time to commit to it. So I have not caught up to our current month. Plus I was waiting on a lot of stuff. So I ordered my journal and my Megwin's journal and Joshua's journal from Notebook Therapy. And I ordered them right around Lunar New Year. And if you are in any sort of industry that is involved with international shipping through that corridor, you will know that basically it shuts down for like a month. And then there's a backlog to get through after that month is done. So typically, like, at least for my work, we order a lot of stuff like the month ahead of that, anticipating what the demand will be during that time. However, of course, I decided I am going to start doing reading journaling right when Lunar New Year hit. So I didn't do my pre-order, so I had to wait for it to come. And my journal arrived mid-February, I think. And then I had to wait for the ephemera I ordered to go with it. I ordered some stuff from Wintertime Crafts on Etsy. I ordered also stuff that came with my notebook therapy order. And I ordered some stuff from Mochi Bujo's shop, Ikigai Papier. So all of that arrived. And then Archer and Olive. I ordered some of these markers from Archer and Olive that are like kind of paint markers. What are they called? Acrylograph pens. But they're very similar to like a paint marker. They're very cool. And then I ordered a few things from Target because they had the Tombow dual brush pens. So anyway, I had to wait kind of for all that stuff to arrive for me to do what I wanted to do. It finally all came, but now I've got 3 months worth of content to catch up on, plus like my pages that were going to be my year-long tracker pages, and then thinking of how I wanted to do them. Collaging is not something that comes particularly naturally to me, but I love it. So I'm just taking my time, and that's okay. So I got this notebook therapy journal. It is from their fall collection. Megwin got one that has a fox on the front. So they all have something different on their spine. Mine has leaves on the spine, and it has a little slumbering deer on the front. And it's this very soft linen cover. I was not expecting it to be so soft. It's really just nice to touch. So it's the Sukinara edition by Notebook Therapy, and it's on, I believe, 160 GSM paper, but it's a dot grid notebook. There you go. That's about all I know. So anyway, my first page, I did a grid spacing cheat sheet because I saw these on various different YouTube channels that I watched, and I thought they were a great idea so that you know just inherently what's the halfway point of your page. If you want to divide it into thirds, how many boxes do you count down? If you want to divide it in half this way, how many do you count over? So you're not doing that every time on every single page when you want to set something up. So that's what that is. That's the first page of my notebook. Plus the first page doesn't really lay flat, and it doesn't have a corresponding side. So it's a good way to make use of this first page. So then I made a cover page, and I really just went nuts with all of my ephemera and collaging, as nuts as I go, right? Oh, and I also got a bunch of stickers from Fab Feminist Art. I want to do a shout out for Callie because her art is amazing, and she included a free print for me, which is gorgeous, and I love it, and it's hanging on my office wall now. But I did like mushrooms and kind of a fall theme. I realized after the fact that this is a sticker, so it's glued in now, but it had a peel off back, and I could have put it in as a sticker, and I didn't. I'm not peeling it out to try to sticker it in now. So anyway, that is my beautiful mushroom sticker from Fab Feminist Art, and it says, even in the dark and damp, change and growth are possible. So I have a lot of really great, just like inspirational stuff from Callie, and I love it. And this is a washi tape from Notebook Therapy. You can see they have these really cool gold foil accents on them. And it comes in a roll, but they tear off as though they're little stamps. Ooh, yeah, you can see it. So there's lots of different mushrooms. So I put a few of those on. Then I was kind of playing around with the washi tapes, also from the same Notebook Therapy. All of my washi tapes basically are from Notebook Therapy, other than this one, which is from Wintertime Crafts. And this is from Wintertime Crafts. And then I just wrote in cursive. I can't write in the beautiful style of Bujo that a lot of people write in. They have this really cool calligraphy writing. I can't figure it out. So I just wrote in cursive. I think I have pretty good cursive handwriting, so I just went for it. So that is my cursive, if you ever wanted to know. So I wrote reading journal. And I kind of used some print from like flower seed stuff. So these are like reprints from periodicals with like flower seed Advertisements. That's the word I want. Advertisements. Okay. Then for my next spread, I drew a bunch of books in a bookshelf. My goal for 2022 is to read 222 books in 2022. If I can, I'll read a book a day. So 365 would be like really exceeding that goal, but 222 is what I'm going for. So I had to do 4 of these bookshelves to accomplish getting 365 on there, and I wanted to give myself room to exceed. But I have colored in everything through last week of what I read. I haven't colored anything that I've read like Friday or today. I do think I have like 3 more books to color in right here. But this is all of the books I've read so far this year colored in. I colored them in with the paint markers, which looks super cool. So I'm just sticking with these 5 colors. I think they kind of go with my color scheme. And this is a little sticker from Ikigai Puppy, or Mochi Bujo's shop. Mochi Bujo is her YouTube channel, and she has really great bullet journaling videos. She also does a reading journal. So anyway, I have a few more houseplant stickers coming because I want to make it look similar to my bookshelf, where I've got kind of plants interspersed and they're sort of in front of the books. But to be able to put it in front of the books, I had to wait till I had the books colored in. So I colored them in first, and then I put the sticker on. And it's a Bindley. It's a pothos plant, which I have one. So that's that. 2 spreads. And then here's my penciled in bookshelves, but it took me a really long time to draw all those books. So we'll wait until I'm getting close on this page before I start going and drawing all of these, because that was like 2 days worth of me working on those books. Probably because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist on drawing them and getting them perfect, and like being random to the point where I thought about using a D20 to like figure out all my different configurations and then roll to get a random result. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I'm fine. This is my monthly totals page. So on this page, I wanted to track both how many pages I read in a month and how many books I read in a month. So I could just see it easily on one page, because this one is just kind of like a cumulative how many for the year, but it doesn't tell me in like a month how many I read. So that's what this page is for. So I've filled in January and February so far. So it goes doop, 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 and then doop, 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 doop. Got more of those delightful little stamps. Got a fun little mushroom sticker up here. This is just one washi tape, and it's so pretty. It's clear, but God, it's just so cute. So I put that all on the bottom. Anyway, on this page, I want to do something with the Reading Embrace from the Heaving Bosoms podcast, as well as the Bonkers Romance podcast. I want to like list out what books from them that I want to read, or books that I've read because of that podcast, because I really love both of those podcasts and I get a lot of inspiration for new authors and new books from them. So I want to do that. These 2 pages I set aside for anticipated releases. So often I'm reading series that are still in the process of being written. So the authors will say when their next book is coming out, and I want to keep track of that so that I don't forget and then not go back and finish the series. Or I kind of, right now, I just get surprised and go, oh gosh, another book's out, cool, I get to read that. But I thought it would be nice if I had like a list where I could just look and see, oh, for March, these are the books that are coming out, so I know I want to read those. So I started with March because I didn't get to the spread until March. But yeah, there's a couple different ones that I want to read Like CM Nacosta has 2 different series that I'm really enjoying. The Morning Glory Milking Farm has a second book in that series that's coming out, which I think is like monster romances or something. This one is Sweet Berries, so that's one of them. And then Parties is another one, but it's like the prequel to that. So there's like an elf orc couple in the Morning Glory Milking Farm book. So it deals with like her and her friends who live in Cambric Creek, which is like, it's set in modern day society, but like there's one town kind of in Seattle is what I get a feeling for. But there's one town where like all of the non-humans live, and like the real estate is really hard to come by and stuff because all of these different non-humans want to raise their children there and have families there and just interact with each other and stuff. So, and it's a really like vibrant, dynamic community. And Morning Glory Milking Farm is like the main heroine is human, and she gets a job in Cambric Creek and then like really falls in love with it and wants to stay. And so as part of that, she becomes friends with this elf who is married to an orc. And then this series, the Girls Weekend series, is the prequel that says how she met her husband and how they like got together and their romance and stuff. It's very cute. So anyway, we had the first installment, and the second installment is coming out the end of March. So stuff like that I want to remember. Husband Material, which is the sequel to Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, which is so good. That was the best book that I've read maybe this year. Definitely the best book I read in January. I listened to it twice because it was so good, and also the narrator was really, really talented, like so good. I said that before, but I'll say it again. I hope he does this book too, because he was just so good, and nobody else can read the characters like him. I can't. But anyway, that is coming out in August. So that's long enough that I probably wouldn't remember. So it's nice to have a place to finally track those. So that's what I'm planning on doing here. Again, like I've got some washi tape and mushrooms and these little leaves. They came also as like a sticker roll of washi stickers. So added a couple of those, and there's a couple of new washi tapes that I hadn't used yet up here. Okay. This page is going to be for book recommendations, but I was like really tired at this point of not doing my monthly spreads. I really wanted to start putting my monthly content down, so I just left it blank. But people are often like chatting with me, or they'll see that I've posted something in my stories on Instagram, and they will DM me and recommend books. And like, then I try to remember who told me about a book with fairies, and I can't remember. So then I don't know where to go to look in the conversations. So I want to have a place where I can put that down, write the person who told me, so then I can go back and tell them if I read it or not and what I thought of it. So yeah, like Sally Yoon has given me a few. Amanda from Little Bitty Delights has given me some. Gabby is always giving me books to read. So yeah, I just want a place to be able to write that down. Okay, so then January, this page is kind of sticking to the last page, so it didn't actually open up all the way, which is a little bit annoying, but whatever. So I did a fun little cover page, and I was trying to use some of these like moon stickers and washi tape. One of them was like peeling off on the gold, so I actually took it back off and I put this on top of where all the sticker didn't quite come off. But anyway, I did this little set of, these came together and I kind of cut them up separately. So it is a grackle with a little ball of string, and then there's like some worms on another page, and this plant, I don't know what it is, but I thought it was cool. It's kind of fern-like with some dried flowers. And I love that it says Gracula. Gracula. So anyway, it's a grackle. And I've got some little stars and moons and stuff. So fun. And then I did The Worm. That's The Worm. And my January books. So these are all the books that I read in the month of January. I kind of kept with the colors, the lavender colors that were in the washi tape. And this is some more of the same plant, but on pink. So I try to keep like pinks and lavenders and stuff. Anyway, there was my books. I read 34 books in the month of January. And I think I might put maybe like a quote down on the bottom here. Probably from Boyfriend Material, because it was such a good book and there were some really, really good quotes in there. So that's probably what I'm going to do to finish out this page. And that is where I am right now. I don't know if I'm going to do like book reviews or anything. I read way too many books to dedicate like a page to each book that I read. I've seen that with some other like booktubers, and I just don't think I've got it in me. What I might do instead is just some quotes from the books that I enjoyed for the books I read that month, and potentially, if there was like a whole series that I read, I might do a synopsis of the entire series, but I just don't know. It feels very book reporty to me, and that's not necessarily what I'm going for here. Unless if a book is like really blown my mind, like House of Sky and Breath. Hello? I just can't. There is too much. But I may like do something with that because I feel like I want to keep track of where the story arcs were at for each of the characters. So then when I go to read the sequel, I don't have to reread the book before it. I think I'm gonna have to reread anyway because there was a lot, and I just like nom 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 like candy for that one. It was so good. So good. I think it was like 800 and something pages. It was chunky. But I read it in like 2 nights. Maybe 3 nights. Because I read some books in between. Maybe 3 nights. So yeah, that is my reading journal so far this year. I will keep you guys apprised of what it continues to look like and what I end up doing with it. If I add stuff to it, I'll let you know. I am keeping it in this very nice squishy book sleeve that I got in my Vine Witch book box from Gabby, the Plies and Pages book box. It is perfect and I love it. So it's got lots of room in there. And then I use my pencil pouch. It can kind of fit in there, but not really, but that's okay. I also use my big Pier bag from Sue, who's Crafty Knitter 7. So there's all my pens in there. It does fit like these larger brush markers. This was from Notebook Therapy too, from the same collection. If you buy stuff from like their matched collections, you get, I think it's 20 or 25% off once you buy 3 items that are all from the same collection. So since I bought the washi tape, this, and the journals, I got like 25% off of all of them. And they let you stack discounts. So I used Mochi Bujo's discount as well. So that was really nice. So yeah, I may also start a knitting journal. I haven't decided yet because it's taking a lot to do the reading journal. So adding in another kind of journal I don't know if I can keep up with it, but I also don't finish that many things in a month for knitting. So, and I can remember them better. And I'm also not tracking a ton of stuff. So once I get the annual spreads done for my reading, it's really just going to be like my lists of books and doing my like decorative spread for the month. And then like maybe a quotes and fun things I want to remember page. So I don't think it'll be very many pages per month for that. So I do think that I could do a knitting journal and it would probably be fun. And my other thought is that I kind of want to keep this one like very similarly themed, but my knitting journal, I kind of want to make it cutesy, like with little, what is that called? Like kawaii stickers and just like cute drawings that the kids make for me and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thought, that it's going to be a really different like look and feel, and it would be fun to try out both of those types. So I do have a journal that I purchased to try it because I got some for the kids, and they had this series that was all like the seasons, but they're cute little characters on the front of them, and it's like a faux leather cover. So Joshua got winter, Megwin took spring, I'm taking fall, and summer doesn't have an owner at this point. But if Joshua goes through his journal, I'll probably give him the summer one because Megwin has the fox and the spring journal. So just trying to keep it egalitarian there. So anyway, that is my thought, that I probably will do a knitting journal, but I want to get my reading journal into a place where like I'm actually caught up. So yeah, I think I've babbled long enough. This is like an hour at this point, and taking an hour out of my Saturday is difficult to do. I want to have some more coffee, probably knit some more on my tank top. The kids are both sick, so I need to get them some more medicine. And I have like 3 baskets of laundry that I need to fold. So yeah, everybody take care of yourself. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for all of your support and your wonderful comments. I love reading them. I love interacting with all of you on Instagram. Oh, I do remember something. I was going to do a giveaway for the next time that I podcast. My friend Tyne, who is the Cleverest Stitch on Instagram, and she is a designer, is going through some tough times right now. So she does have a GoFundMe, and you can find the link for that in her story. But yeah, she's essentially dealing with unemployment, and she's the main income earner for her family. So aside from supporting her GoFundMe, I wanted to also give away a couple of her patterns so that I can support her, and maybe some of you can try out her patterns. So she designs predominantly shawls, but I do believe that she's also done some cowls and hats? Question mark? I'm not sure. Anyway, I have test knit for her twice, and she's great to work with. She's so wonderful. I've met her at India Untangled one year. She's good friends with Ellie, who is Skananigans, who's also a lovely person. So anyway, I just want to support her and help her get through this tough time, because I know what that's like. Trying to figure out your work stuff and support your household. So anyway, I would like to give away 2 patterns of hers to 2 winners. So please leave a comment if you would like to win one. And then next time that I podcast, I will draw 2 winners, and you can let me know which of her designs that you would like me to gift to you. I believe that she has a off Ravelry way to do patterns as well. So if you can't access Ravelry, I'm sure that I can talk to Tyne and work that out, or I'll gift them to you in the other way that she sells patterns aside from Ravelry. But if you can use Ravelry, I will gift them to you through Ravelry. So anyway, leave a comment and I will draw a winner next time. For one of her patterns, I'll draw 2 winners. In the meantime, if you can and have the ability and interest, check out her designs. They are delightful and beautiful and really intuitive. So they're kind of very potato chippy. And yeah, that is everything now for real. And I'm going to go. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that you get to take time to do the things that you love. Until next time, take care. I will see you